50 Shades of Grey has done so well at the box office. Feels like everybody has seen it. Have you? No.
You don't want to see it? Maybe one day.
I don't think I can. Yeah.
Sometimes celebrities just can't hide their true feelings, and when tensions rise, the whole world gets to witness it. From awkward interviews to full-blown arguments, these are some of the most uncomfortable moments where stars just couldn't keep their cool. First up, an award show moment that went from slightly awkward to downright tense. Sir Patrick Stewart took to the stage, but instead of sticking to his script, he decided to call out James Corden for what he saw as poor stage presence.
When the presenters are up here and when the recipients are receiving their awards, don't stand at the back of the stage with your hands in your pockets, looking around as though you wished you were anywhere but here.
At first, Corden tried to laugh it off, but when Stewart kept pushing, the talk show host snapped back. The room quickly filled with nervous laughter.
Oh, you couldn't be more wrong, sir. You couldn't be more wrong. Oh, genuinely. But when you come up and present an award, just get on with it. There we go.
Where I was sitting, I can see your belly.
But the moment was anything but lighthearted. It was a rare instance where both men refused to back down, making for one painfully cringeworthy exchange. Now, let's talk about that time Gordon Ramsay made Sofia Vergara visibly uncomfortable during a talk show appearance. What started as playful teasing about her pizza-eating habits quickly took a turn when Ramsay got a little too handsy and even made an unnecessary joke about her son's name.
I never screamed like that in real life, you know. I was all acting.
Only in the bedroom. And you seem like you're enjoying that. You had a whole wedge in your mouth at any one time?
Yes, I have.
Yep. You haven't heard of a knife and fork? No?
You don't eat pizza with a knife and a fork.
You just pick it up and stick it in?
Of course, you have to take it like...
Vergara tried to keep it light, but the tension was obvious. She pulled away, crossed her arms, and at one point even told him, "This is my interview."
Manolo is just a Hispanic name. Not everything needs a meaning.
Oh, really?
Yes. No, right?
It sounds like a paint.
Yeah. Okay, this is my interview.
Yeah.
Don't you worry about him. Come on.
But Ramsay, true to form, didn't seem to notice or care that he had crossed the line. And then there's David Letterman, who had a habit of pushing his guests just a little too far. During an interview with Lindsay Lohan, he blindsided her with relentless questions about her upcoming rehab stint, something she clearly wasn't expecting to discuss.
Aren't you supposed to be in rehab now?
I don't watch anything that goes on.
I do.
Tabloid now.
Now here's what
May 2nd.
I was under the May 2nd.
Yes.
And how long will you be in rehab?
3 months.
How many times have you been in rehab?
Several.
And how will this time be different? What are they rehabbing, first of all? What is on their list? What are they going to work on when you walk through the door?
Lohan tried to steer the conversation back to her movie, but Letterman wouldn't let it go.
We didn't discuss this in the pre-interview.
No. When you go to the rehab, what do they do?
We're here for a movie.
You have to be in rehab May 2nd. Are you going to be there? You'll be there, right? Who's taking you to rehab? You don't want to talk about that either, right?
As she wiped away tears and tried to hold her composure, the audience laughed, completely unaware of just how uncomfortable the moment had become. Of course, sometimes it's not the host making things awkward, it's the guest. One of the most infamous on-air meltdowns happened when Kanye West lost his temper during a radio interview with Sway Calloway.
Or why don't you empower yourself and don't need them and do it yourself?
How, Sway?
Take a few steps back to go.
You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers. You ain't got the answers. You ain't got the answers, Sway.
What started as a discussion about Kanye's fashion ambitions quickly spiraled out of control when Sway suggested he try doing things on his own instead of relying on major brands.
Kanye,
I've been doing this more than you.
Doing what?
You ain't got.
Me? Come on, chill out.
You
bro.
ain't got the answers.
Kanye,
you ain't got the answers.
I'm asking you.
You
a
ain't
question.
been doing the education.
That was enough to set Kanye off. He shouted over Sway, repeating, "You ain't got the answers," over and over.
You ain't got the answers. You ain't spent $13 million of your own money trying to empower yourself.
Yep.
Sway tried to stay calm, but the interview had already turned into one of the most unforgettable celebrity outbursts ever caught on tape.
but I spent hundreds of thousands and putting out clothing lines at a smaller degree. Let me ask you this. I'm asking
What's the name of your clothing line? We don't know.
Kanye.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I lost money, but that's not
exactly, and I could lose money on a higher level too.
At the Oscars, model Ashley Graham was all smiles as she tried to interview Hugh Grant on the red carpet. But instead of engaging, Grant responded with short, uninterested answers, making it painfully clear he wanted no part in the conversation.
What are you most excited to see tonight?
To see?
Yeah, well, I know that you probably watched a few of the movies. Are you excited to see anybody win? Do you have your hopes up for anyone?
No one in particular.
When Graham tried to bring up his role in Glass Onion, he cut her off, saying he was in it for about 3 seconds.
So tell me, what does it feel like to be in Glass Onion? It was such an amazing film. I really loved it. I love a thriller. How fun is it to shoot something like that?
Well, I'm barely in it. I'm in it for about 3 seconds.
Yeah, but still, you showed up and you had fun, right?
Almost.
Okay, all right. Okay.
It was the kind of interview that made viewers cringe, as Graham did her best to keep things positive despite Grant's total lack of enthusiasm. And finally, we have an awkward moment that didn't come from a feud, but from some seriously uncomfortable flirting. While promoting Spider-Man, Across the Spider-Verse, Shameik Moore repeatedly tried to charm his co-star, Haley Steinfeld, but the problem? She wasn't interested. Despite her obvious discomfort, Moore kept leaning in, calling her beautiful, and making flirty comments. Steinfeld stayed professional, but her body language said all this was not the vibe.
It's easier to be Miles flirting with Gwen when I'm looking at Haley.
When you're looking at her, right.
From feuds to failed flirtations, these moments remind us that even the biggest stars can't always keep their cool. Which one made you cringe the most? Let us know in the comments.